Tampa Bay with 8:44 left in the fourth. Mike Allside bouncing off the tackle, kicks his way free, gets his balance, drives into the open. Oh my! 19 more for Allstott.
Here is Dave Moore, the snap, the hold, the kick. It is good! It's good! 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 Bucs beat the Eagles! Matt Bryant is my hero! Unbelievable! Wow!
When you think of Bucs football, there's usually only one word to describe it, and that word would be disappointment. But that all shifted this offseason with one particular signing that shifted the narrative from disappointment to hopefulness. And now that the 2020 season has ended, the narrative has switched from hope to excitement. Excitement for the present, for the upcoming games, for the future, and really what that means as a Bucs fan. With that being said, let's get into the biggest takeaways from this 2020 NFL season. For those of you who don't know me personally, which is probably almost all of you, I was born in Ocala, Florida. I lived in Tampa for a short period of time, and I got, Tampa Bay Rays gear, and this is really when my love of Tampa sports and the Bucs specifically really became a thing. But currently I live in Wisconsin. So this clip right here was a really happy treat for me.
It's the first time he saw him and just loves the way he plays the game. Pass is picked. Intercepted back the other way. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Intercepted by Jamel Dean.
So you could imagine, as a Bucs fan in an enemy territory, this offseason really had me encircled with a lot of paranoia and maybe even doubt, doubt that we're really going to be that good. But, looking now, we're in the playoffs, and it was a great season. But you really get this paranoia because you don't have a lot of friends that are really Tampa friends. You meet one every here and there, but your mind keeps racing back to these missed opportunities like this one.
Matt Gay's kick is no good!
So, especially when there's no preseason games, it really takes a toll because you don't have that preseason to have Brady develop this chemistry in a game situation. You just got to go live. And that's what was the scariest part of this offseason, was the paranoia of no preseason and just jumping into it. Now we've got a new quarterback who is basically the polar opposite of our quarterback from the last 5 years. And we really saw that week 1 against the Saints. I mean, that game was really ugly. And now that the season has completed, we can really look back on this 11-5, this great season, and really analyze what we need to improve on, what we did great this season, the key adds that really helped us win, and maybe what we need to keep doing for next season. So let's get into that. The key adds this offseason were huge into getting the Bucs into the playoffs, and those key adds were Tom Brady, obviously, Gronk, LaShawn McCoy, Leonard Fournette, and I would throw in Tristan Wirfs and Winfield Jr. as our rookies. So let's really dive deep into what these new players brought to the table this season. Tristan Wirfs, the big right tackle out of Iowa. Tristan Wirfs had a huge season. He had 1,073 snaps, that's 7th in the NFL. He had 3 penalties, 39th in the NFL, and 1 sack allowed. Now that's 78th in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. And those stats were obviously in his rookie season, where he was against people like Cam Jordan, some of the league's best edge rushers. And then you have to look at Antoine Winfield. A lot of people are saying Antoine Winfield's their defensive rookie of the year. Now, I mean, most of those people are Bucs fans, but I mean, I don't disagree. He's had a great season. With 66 tackles, tied for 24th, 1 pick, 3 sacks. He is, like I said, touted by a lot of Bucs fans as the defensive rookie of the year. Now, Gronk didn't have the biggest impact. He kind of stepped up into that role after that OJ injury. He had 623 yards, 45 receptions, and 7 touchdowns. Now, I wasn't excited about him being a good tight end. He's a great tight end, but that's not why I was excited. We needed something to kickstart that Tom Brady chemistry, so he had someone to always lean back on, and there was already some chemistry in the building, which is awesome. And then we finally get to Tom Brady, the man who brought us to the playoffs. He had 4,633 yards. That's third in the NFL. And 40 touchdowns. That's tied for second. He is definitely the MVP this season for the Bucs. And I will make a totally separate video about the Buc'd up trophy winners this season. Who is the MVP? I think I just gave you the biggest hint in the world, but who is the defense player of the year? I got all that coming in a separate video, so stay tuned. Now, we could gloat about Tom and the good things all day, and we have a full season behind us now, and there are some improvements that need to be made to become a true contending team, because I just don't see it right now. We look really good these last 2 or 3 weeks, but we need to make a few changes if we really want to make that push for a Super Bowl in Tampa. Number 1, the O-line. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a pretty good O-line. Tristan Wirfs, Ryan Jensen, Marpet, Capel really looks good this year, but Donovan Smith is getting paid $13.7 million a year, and he's a average left tackle to below average. He needs to improve or get out, and this is a talented group of tackles coming up in this 2021 draft. Number 2, the DBs. Now, don't get me wrong, the DBs had a pretty good season compared to the last few seasons, and I know what you're thinking. Why draft another young guy? Don't. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying. I want a vet in there that has seen a good amount of playing time and a good amount of experience against some top receivers. Like a Jalen Mills, a Ronald Darby, Xavier Rhodes. Those are all some free agents coming up that if they don't get re-signed, could be a big asset in just being a mentor for this young group of guys who look really promising but struggle against a Tyreek Hill. And we really need somebody to help us in those Tyreek Hill situations where he's on the phone calling for help. Number 3, probably the most important. I cannot stress this enough. I know I've heard multiple people talk about it, but the coaching, man. The coaching was so bad throughout the whole season. We didn't know if we were a rotational running back team. Oh, never mind. Now we're a Ronald Jones, he's the guy team. Oh, we're a heavy man blitz team? Nope. We're a 4-man front zone team. I can't stress that enough. We drafted man cornerbacks to be man cornerbacks. We shouldn't be playing zone, but I digress. We're getting better. That's all that we ask. But it took way too much time to figure this out. It took up until week 15 for us to really see this team on paper, how it should look against some of these bad teams like the Falcons, like the Lions. Although those are some bad things that we need to improve, there are some good things about the season. 1, Rojo finally looks like a franchise back. He just had that broken finger, which sucks, but he'll get over that. We're in the playoffs. He had 978 yards with 7 touchdowns. And maybe one day he'll look like he's not a child that ate a bunch of popcorn when somebody throws a ball to him. We can only hope. And another guy who looked really good this season in a while is AB. AB looked like the old AB finally. He finished with 483 yards this season. He was fun to watch. I don't know if he'll be here next season or long term, but I think it's definitely someone Brady wants to keep around as they're living together. And he seems like he's on his good behavior at the moment. And because I don't want this video to be 20 minutes long, I'm going to stop the good there because there's quite a bit of it. It's not hard to find a lot of good in this team. You don't have to look far. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe. It'd mean a lot to me. I will be making a lot more videos coming out soon. Like I said, I've got that award video coming out. I've got one about the quarterback situation in the future, what we should do there. And since you stayed to the end of the video, if you comment the score prediction for the Bucs versus Washington game and you get it the closest, you get a free Bucs jersey. I will announce the winner on Instagram on Monday. Let's go Bucs.
New car, no plate. New bra, new face. New bullets for the night.